Hello everyone, and welcome back to All Transfer News. Today, we've got the latest updates on our beloved club, Liverpool. But before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a moment of Liverpool transfer news. Let's get started.
Liverpool named their price to release Trent Alexander-Arnold to Real Madrid. Trent Alexander-Arnold is going to Real Madrid, but Liverpool are still hustling with them. When the right-back departs from Merseyside is still being debated. Fans have been dealing with the news all week after Trent finally announced his intention to leave, and the reception he received at Anfield was far from pretty, although that was to be expected. By stealing Trent from us on a free, Real Madrid are far from popular right now, and they are really pushing their luck by attempting to secure him a couple of weeks before his contract ends. This is with the intention of getting him embedded into his new surroundings sooner rather than later, and to be able to play for Los Blancos in the Club World Cup, which is set to take place in June. Initial reports claimed that Madrid wanted such a compromise for free, although it now seems as though a compensation figure might finally have been agreed between the two clubs. How much will Liverpool receive to let Trent go early? According to Defensa Central, the figure is 1.5 diaz, 1.26 as, which will essentially compensate the Reds for the wages that Trent would have received until his contract expired. Capology has his weekly wage packet at £180,000 a week, which is £720,000 here or there, with £500,000 added on for good measure. In reality, that's a drop in the ocean for Liverpool, who will still be reeling from leaving Trent full stop, despite attempting to offer him a new contract 14 months before it was to come to an end. Trent remaining at the club this season, despite having ample time to leave last summer, is what has caused most of the frustrated amongst fans, and the notion of letting him go early is yet another blow. But as you would expect, the club appears to have acted with class by not getting in the way of the player's wishes, which the Reds quite fairly could have done if they wanted to. The report adds that Liverpool apparently wants the $13 for the deal, but that figure was later halved. As mentioned, no amount of money would really have made a big enough difference. Real Madrid made a bid for Trent during the January transfer window, which was rightly declined because the club was in the middle of a Premier League title charge which required the utmost focus. Regardless of how he is remembered, Trent certainly played his fair part in that trophy win Napoli deal for Liverpool forward now very advanced. It looks like Liverpool will be offloading several squad members this summer. Not content with simply winning the Premier League title at the first time of asking, Arne Slot and Richard Hughes are now plotting upgrades across the pitch. Established Liverpool names in the forward department are looking over their shoulders. Mohamed Salah is safely secured to a contract until 2027, while Cody Gakpo looks set to be retained. But the picture is far from rosy for others. Strikers Diogo Jota and Darwin Núñez could be sold if the right bids materialize. And on the wings, there is a degree of uncertainty around Luis Diaz. Unless Hughes gets a new contract sorted out, then the Colombia international could be on his way. The Italy winger has been a disappointment since arriving from Juventus in last summer's transfer window. The 27-year-old has played only 5 times in the Premier League and made 3 starts overall. Napoli close to Chiesa deal, Tottenham are surprise candidates to sign the winger, but a return to Serie A looks more likely. In January, it was reported that AC Milan and Inter were curious about taking Chiesa home, while links with Atalanta and Roma are also well established. But now, it seems as though Chiesa will be heading to Napoli, who look a good bet to win the Serie A title. According to a new report in Gazzetta dello Sport, talks between Antonio Conte's side and Chiesa's representatives have reached an advanced stage. Previously described as a hindrance to any deal taking him back to Italy, it is now believed that Chiesa's $120,000 per week salary will not be an issue for the Partenope president Aurelio De Laurentiis. Although the two sides remain apart at the exact structure of a deal, it is looking likely that Chiesa will soon be leaving Merseyside for Serie A. It's not worked out for Chiesa at Liverpool. Aurelio De Laurentiis and his collaborators are also pushing on the accelerator with the Liverpool executives to define the details of Federico Chiesa's return to Italy, a report reads. Napoli has already made its offer for a loan with the right to redeem, while Liverpool is insisting on an obligation. Because the player is enthusiastic about returning to Serie A with a starting place in the Champions League and with the concrete prospect of regaining a shirt in the national team after a year as an extra in Slot's squad, Even his contract of 4.5 million net is not a problem. In short, the deal is at a very advanced stage.
Exclusive, Liverpool's major advantage over Bayern Munich to sign Florian Wirtz is a target for Liverpool this summer, and Anfield Watch has been informed the club has a major advantage in the transfer race with Bayern Munich. Normally, signing for the biggest club in the country is every young German footballer's dream. But Wirtz has already hinted he would be tempted by the possibility of trying himself abroad. There's of course reservations from Bayer Leverkusen's end as, well, Bayern Munich is a direct rival for Wirtz's current club. Selling to them is not something Leverkusen would like to do. They were reluctant to do the same with Kai Havertz, who ended up signing for Chelsea instead. But that's not the only obstacle standing in Bayern Munich's way. Anfield Watch has been told that the club also has to sell players in order to be able to afford Leverkusen's asking price. Anfield Watch spoke exclusively to Football Transfer's Bundesliga expert Ronan Murphy on our YouTube channel about the possibility of signing Wirtz. There are a lot of reasons for him to go to Bayern Munich, but there's 150 million reasons why he won't go to Bayern Munich because they will have to sell players to be able to afford him to balance the books, Murphy said. Players like Kingsley Coman maybe will have to be sold, or Sacha Boey, or players that maybe don't have the same sort of market value. Host Bence Boksak asked Murphy whether Liverpool had an advantage in the race to sign Wirtz because of the club's finances, being in a good place. Having not spent a lot of money during last summer's transfer window, in theory, Liverpool probably could afford him without needing to sell anyone. Do you think that then does give Liverpool a bit of an advantage here? I think it does, Murphy replied. Liverpool probably have a lot more sellable assets at the moment than Bayern Munich have. Because if you look at some of the fringe players than Bayern Munich, maybe Leon Goretzka is another one that they could get off the books. None of them would have the same kind of market appeal as some of the younger players that Liverpool are able to sell. Obviously, I'm very fond of Kawim and Kelleher, but he is a player that should get a fifth of what you're going to pay for Wirtz this summer. So yeah, why not kind of go in for him now? Make it clear that this is you want him at the club because he is one of the best young players in the world. He's one of the best players in the world. Why wouldn't you want to sign him? The only thing is the fee is astronomical, obviously. But if you have the money, is it worth the gamble? Murphy concluded. This is the big advantage Liverpool have over Bayern Munich. Whereas Bayern have to sell players in the summer window, Liverpool can afford the German international right now. The club's finances are in good order. As we mentioned above, Liverpool didn't spend a lot of money last summer. The previous summer, they had a 100 million bid agreed with Brighton for Moises Caicedo. That money was never spent. And since then, Liverpool have continued on an upwards trajectory, generating healthy revenue from their success in the Premier League this season. All of